And on this video, we're going to go over the state of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Let's get into it. What's going on, baseball fans? Jeremy Laracuente here for the Baseball Banter Broadcast on the Laracuente Legend Network. And as I said in the open, today we are going to be discussing the state of the 2021 Arizona Diamondbacks. But before we get into it, make sure if you haven't already done so, you smash that subscribe button down below, as it does help the channel progress and move up the YouTube algorithm, which allows us to bring you even more content each and every week. So let's get into it. Now, when it comes to the Arizona Diamondbacks, they're in a very precarious position. But let's get into some of the offseason moves that they made to try to bolster their team. So we begin with the signing of Asdrubal Cabrera. Now, Cabrera is going to be a guy who's going to likely come off the bench for them, be able to fill in at several spots in the infield. Now, we covered the signing of Asdrubal Cabrera in greater detail in a specific video here on the Laracuente Legend Network and on the Baseball Banter Broadcast. I will leave links to that video down in the show notes below, as well as up in the YouTube card. Now, what Asdrubal does is he provides versatility because he's able to play multiple positions in the infield, as well as being versatile at the plate because he's a switch hitter. Now, defense has never really been his strong suit, so it will be something that they're going to be trading off a little bit better offense from a bench role as opposed to a defensive replacement. One of the other signings that we would see would be that of Tyler Clippard. Now, when you look at what Tyler Clippard can be for the Arizona Diamondbacks, this is a guy who can provide solid back end of the bullpen type of relief. Is he likely going to be the closer for this team? No. They signed the player who they're likely going to have as a closer, and I'll get into in just a moment. But when you look at what Clippard can be for them, this is going to be a guy who's likely going to slide into that 7th, 8th inning role, who's going to just be able to help lengthen the bullpen out just a little bit. Clippard is also going to be able to provide a mentorship, leadership type role for some of the younger arms that are going to be coming up in that Arizona Diamondbacks bullpen. Now, as we get into the guy who's most likely going to be the closer, the Diamondbacks would also sign Joakim Soria. Soria will likely slot into that closer role for the D-backs because he's been one of the more impressive relievers over the last several years. In the shortened 2020 campaign, Soria would pitch 22 1/3 innings to the tune of an ERA of 2.82 and a FIP of 2.97, leading to an ERA plus of 148. So this was a very dominant reliever in a very short window of time in the shortened 2020 season. Heading into the longer, more regular season of 2021, the Diamondbacks are going to need to fill out 1,400 plus innings, and having a guy who can lock down those victories in Joakim Soria is going to be a huge valuable asset. So now let's jump into the state of the rotation for the Arizona Diamondbacks. When you look at the Diamondbacks, there's likely going to be a battle in spring training for the 5th spot, but they're going to be headlined by a very recognizable name in Madison Bumgarner. You're also going to have guys like Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly, and Luke Weaver, who are likely going to fill in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th spots in that rotation. Now, when it comes to Madison Bumgarner, is he the guy that we saw winning championships with the San Francisco Giants? No. However, he's still a very valuable pitcher and a very valuable asset headlining this rotation. As we jump into the state of the bullpen, as we spoke about, Tyler Clippard and Joakim Soria are going to be the most recognizable names coming out of this pen. But they're also going to provide leadership and mentorship for some of the younger arms that are going to take over for them. Both of these guys are on a 1-year deal, so it's going to be more of a transitional type year for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Now, that bullpen is going to have to get some work in order to be able to sustain them and potentially move them towards a wild card spot. But as we know, the MLB, PA, and Major League Baseball are in agreement of not pushing forward the expanded playoffs or the universal DH. So the Diamondbacks are likely going to fall out of contention and not make the wild card or the postseason this year. Now, as we jump into the state of the offense for the Arizona Diamondbacks, there are some recognizable names if you're a hardcore baseball fan. David Peralta, Ketel Marte, Nick Ahmed are 3 of the names that most stand out for different reasons. Peralta and Marte are going to be guys who can play and put up some offensive numbers for this team. Nick Ahmed is one of the best defensive shortstops in Major League Baseball. So while the Diamondbacks offense isn't going to be one that's going to blow you away, they are still going to be able to put up some runs in Major League Baseball in 2021. Now, the biggest thing for the Arizona Diamondbacks is going to be trying to put everything all together and be able to try to play winning baseball, which might be very difficult in a very tough division. Now, as we jump into the state of the franchise here, the Arizona Diamondbacks are going to struggle. This is going to be a tough division for them to win in because of the Dodgers and the Padres being so much better than what they are. Now, the Diamondbacks have some things to look forward to, some bright spots in the lineup as well as in the rotation and the bullpen. But ultimately, without expanded playoffs, the Dodgers and Padres are likely going to command 2 of the 5 postseason spots. going into the 2021 postseason. So the Diamondbacks are going to have to get everything right in order to try to make that second wildcard spot. And I just don't think that it's going to happen for them in 2021. That being said, the Diamondbacks will have some very valuable trade assets at the deadline and could easily rebolster their farm system and move themselves ahead by a few years by making the right moves at the deadline with some of their assets. But I want to hear from you guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. What are your feelings about the Arizona Diamondbacks? Where do they fall in terms of the National League West rankings and the National League as a whole? Do you think that they have a chance to make that second wildcard spot? I want to hear all these thoughts and theories down in the comment section below, and we'll discuss it further. As always, if you haven't already done so, smash that like, subscribe, and bell so that you're notified each and every time we drop new content here on the Laracuente Ledger Network. There's a ton of new things coming from the channel in 2021 and beyond, so make sure you keep it locked in, and that best way to do that is by hitting subscribe and that bell. And as always, to get the full Laracuente Ledger Network experience, make sure you head over to patreon.com, search for the Laracuente Ledger Network, and join us there, as your support allows us to continue bringing you this content each and every single week. So I will catch you guys when the latest news, notes, or my personal thoughts, theories, and opinions have to be dropped about the game of Major League Baseball. Peace.